God bless you. Today, let's talk about a problem that is plaguing your relationship with God. The fact that you don't have all of the answers and that God reveals the whole piece by piece and part by part. A lot of times when we're in prayer, we want God to pour out everything to us. We want to know everything that's going to happen in the future. We want to know not just all of the steps that we need to take, but we need to know the direction and the pivot of our feet and our ankles as we move. We want to know everything, but God is a God who reveals the whole by way of the part. And so the word the Lord gave me for you today it's time for you to begin to piece together the puzzle of your purpose. And God begins to unfold understanding, clarity, and insight regarding why you were born, what you're here to do, as you begin to move and obey God in the pieces that He releases to you. There are a lot of people who are locked on levels and stuck in the same plateaus because they refuse to obey God in the parts that He reveals. And so we know that God wants us to study His Word, but we want to know what's going to happen 10 years from now. And so instead of studying His Word, we want to jump and we just want to run and become a pastor. We know that God wants us to get married, and so we just jump into relationships instead of following the simple steps that God gives us that unlock and reveal purpose. And so if you would stop refusing to obey the part and disregard what you see as insignificant or small, the tiny instructions, the tiny commandments, if you would begin to embrace and operate in those things, then you're going to get clarity as you go. And so God rewards you. Revelation is a reward, even though it seems to be open these days and free, but revelation is truly a reward. And the more obedient you are as you go, God begins to reveal more. When you're on the road and your GPS doesn't begin to tell you all of the steps and all the turns that you're going to make at one time, the GPS reveals the directions turn by turn. And so God reveals things to you about your purpose, about what you're called to do, about where you are as you arrive at certain places on the journey that is your assignment. And so if you disregard a turn, you're going to go in the direction that God did not intend for you. So it's time to begin to piece things together by way of obedience into the things that God is telling you to do, the things that God is saying to you. So if you don't know everything right now, if you don't know how it's going to work out, if you don't know where the resources are coming from, if God has spoken a great thing over your life, but everything looks small, the instructions look small, don't worry. The instructions may seem to detach you from local things, but the promises and the blessings are often global.